Hello everyone, this is I. Today I would like to show you how to make this bracelet here, and this bracelet is called the Beloved bracelet. And in this bracelet I'll show you a stitch that I use very often to make my scrolling item. It's a stitch that where you pick up a band with another band and looped it onto a different section. Now I will show you. Now this is an example that I made. So when you use that stitch, your bracelet will have this loop in there like that. So your scrolling item will start to look different from the back. The back and the front of your scrolling item will look different when you're starting to lift different stitches up and adding stitches. So today I'll show you this stitch here and show you some more of my items. So it's the stitch where it lifted those two bands and link it up to another section. You could link it to different levels of your items, and you could use this stitch in separate sections. So it doesn't have to be just one loop like that, it could be two. And let me see, I'll show you this one as well. This one is a bit hard to tell where I actually use the stitch, but the more layer you add to your pendant, like this one here, it will become like 3D. So it will start to look very different. You see, that's the back, or that's the front, whichever one you like better. So basically the pendant will, you could wear it whichever side you like when you're starting to add bands onto it. And this is what I call the advanced scrolling design. So I will talk more about scrolling technique in my next video, hopefully. Now we're just gonna start with making the Beloved bracelet. Okay, you need two colors, so pick two colors that you like or even more, and I'll show you this. And this is where I was playing with the colors. So you will need one color for the top, and then we'll do the love hearts. And okay, so let's get started. So this is how I start mine. You get a cap band and grab two bands and pull it through, cap band. And I actually like to start this design with another two bands before I start making the design, because I think if I start with like those two bands, the design looks a bit different from the first one. Will look a bit different from the rest, and I think this way the first will look closer to the rest. It's hard to explain, but this is how we start. We're going to grab one band, I'm going to loop it through two bands, okay, and then we're going to pick up the bands closest to us, and we're just going to leave this down here and get another band, and we're going to pull this band through those two. Okay, so you're pulling it through those two bands, and you're going to pick up that band there, not the one that you just looped through, the first one, but the one that is in here. Should have used a different color so it might be easier to show you, but yeah, you'll pick up this band, and now you put those back up, and we're going to flip it over to the other side. Okay, now make sure your band are not twisted. Now going back to this side, you grab first color, going through 2 bands, and you pick up the ones closest to you. Grab another band, go through 2 bands, and you pick up that band. Okay, and you're going to put those bands back. Make sure they don't fall out. Now hold on to that, and you're going to grab another band. Now this gets a bit tricky, okay? Now we're going to take off these 2 bands, and then watch it, it doesn't come undone. You're going to pull this band through all 4 bands, and make sure those 4 bands are in that order. Okay, now you can grab another band, and this time you put your hook back in there, lifting only the middle 2 bands, and pulling it through just the middle 2 bands. Now this technique here, where you're lifting layers of bands, is where I classify it in my scrolling technique as intermediate scrolling, where you're just basically lifting bands and putting them in layers. And lifting the band can be quite difficult, but this shouldn't be too difficult because there are other ways to lift band as well. So now we're going to put all these bands back like that and give it a good stretch. So when you're giving it a good stretch, you'll be able to see there's a pattern there. Okay, now we're going to grab the 4th band from this side, which is the one that's on the inside. Okay, from the inside, and we're going to stretch it all the way out. Grab that band and we'll stretch it all the way out. Pull it out that way. Now we're going to switch over to the other side. Okay, be really careful so you don't mess up your band's order, so you know what you're doing. Now you'll see this bit here, and you are going to stretch all the way out as well and drop it. So when that's done, this is what it looks like at the moment. Okay, so you have this love heart with a stretchy band on the outside, and now you grab 2 bands, you pull it over all your bands. There we go, all the bands, and close. That's pretty cute, isn't it? But that pattern there have been used before. Not the exact same pattern, but yeah, I've seen a few of those. So now this is how you make it look different. You grab a band. Now let me grab another hook. You grab a band, and you're going to stick it through in here and into the other band like that. So I'll show you again. Going in here and going in right there, and you're going to pull this band through it. Okay, and this band through it like that, and fold it in half. You pick it up. Make sure when you're picking it up, it's not twisted. Okay, just like that. It's flat. and when you pick it up you want it just like that, and you pinch that band like that, and you're going to let go of those two bands and put your hook through these two bands here and pick up those again, okay, and give it a stretch, give it a good stretch. So you see now the whole design looked different from when it has that band through the middle. Now this is when your design is starting to look different. The front and the back is different. Okay, now we are going to start all over again. So one band, oops, it's going to go through 3 bands. Okay, so the first time we start we go through 2 bands, but now we're going 3, and just pick up the first one closest to your hook like before, and you grab another band, pull it through those 2 bands, okay, and you're going to lift that band. So you're not lifting the first band, but you're lifting the inside band, that curvy band that we put in. Okay, now we're going to put this back onto our hook. Make sure your bands are not twisted. Okay, put it back on our hook, and we're going to turn this around. And when we're turning it, just make sure they stay in order. Flipped over. Now we're going to have one band going through 3 bands. Pick up the one that's closest to your hook and grab another band, and this time we go through 2 bands. Okay, 2 bands, and we're going to pick up that band there. Okay, and put those back on your hook again. Now you grab your band and then let go of those 2. Okay, now this band have to go through the 4 bands in the middle. Okay, 4 bands. Make sure when you organize that band there you don't pull too hard and mess up the orders of those 4 bands. Okay, now you need to lift those 2 in the middle, grab another one, and pull it through. Oh dear. Now we're gonna hook those bands back. Now hopefully I didn't mess up too much of this bit here. Hook that in and hook that one back in. Let's see. That's good. Now you can tell this is the back of your bracelet with that band through it looking like that, and this is what you have to decide whether you want your design of your bracelet to be only one-sided, so the design going one way and different on the back, just one way, or you can do alternate your design, so you get one like that and the other one, so you know, alternate your design. So now we've got that there, and we know that's our front of our design. So we need to lift our inside band out through the 3 bands, and we'll drop it out. And going back to the other side, getting the inside band and dropping it out. Okay, that way. So that's our heart shape. Now we are okay, let's not slide this thing around too much. Now we're going to grab our other band that we're going to stick through this band. Okay, so going through that band there and pull this band through. Okay, straight, not twisted. Okay, now pinch that band. Oh, I think I forgot something here. Yep, I did. We need to actually pull this 2 bands through this first. Missing a step. Sorry about that. So pull those bands over 2 ends, and we'll go back to this here to pick up that. Okay, pick up that band, pinching it. See, sometimes it'll start twisting like that, but you have to make sure it's not. Okay, you hold it down, pinching it together, and let go of those 2 bands, and you slot those 2 bands in, and you pick up, before you lose it, pick up the other 2 bands again. Okay, now give it a good stretch and give it a little bit of a organize it a little bit so they stay in place properly. So basically that's how you make this bracelet. Just repeat that pattern and you get your bracelet. Okay, this is the beloved bracelet, and I hope you like the design. And I'm just really making this video to show you an extra stitch. Okay, please hashtag scrolling technique when you're on Instagram, so people can have a reference when they want to come and have a look at your items. If you're actually using a stitch, they can come and have a look at the hashtag and go, oh, okay, someone make this design using this stitch. It's always wonderful to see people using different stitch, and yeah, all good. Now, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. See ya!